Hi everyone, I am Dr. Neva with Nevalliance. Today I have the privilege of interviewing Andrea Hutchings, and she is going to discuss her brand new book that she just wrote. And yeah, super excited about that. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. I'm just home right now. I'm excited for this interview, of course. Excited to talk about my book. And yeah, this is very new to me. So I'm a little nervous too at the same time. I'm excited and nervous.
No need to be nervous. And I know you're totally on a different time zone. So I appreciate, you coming, to speak with me about this, joining us to speak to us about your book. So, tell us a little bit about your background, your education, because, anyone that picks up this book, they want to know that this is coming from someone that's credible. So tell us about you.
Right. Well, I left the UK about, I'm going to say 14 years ago. Around 14 years ago, and I came to the Middle East to teach. When I came to the Middle East, I was teaching primary age students and kindergarten students. Since coming to the UK, coming to the Middle East, I did venture around a little bit. I taught in Saudi at Prince Mohammed University, and that was an experience. And then I came back and I stayed in kindergarten, which is where I am now, and I've been there for um, going on 10 plus years. And this is where my passion lies, kindergarten. I love it. I love the students. I love teaching them. Right now, I'm not teaching. I'm a vice principal. That's a new appointment this year, but my experience is just education, mainly kindergarten. So my book is for kindergarteners.
Wow. Your experience in the Middle East much be a handful for you. So what inspired you to write this book? Did you get up one day and say, I got to write this book? What was it? What's the inspiration?
Well, I used to write actually when I was younger, much younger. I used to write stories for my sisters, and then I would read it to them at bedtime. So I've always written, and I always wanted to write. But then my mom would always tell me stories about her time when she was in Jamaica, and she would tell me all sorts of weird and wonderful stories. And she would always say to me, "I would love for someone to write my story." So I thought to myself, it would be inspiring. Her story would be inspiring for others to hear, not just children, to be honest, but also the adults reading to the children would be inspired by it, I'm sure.
So your mom is the real inspiration behind this. So why do you think there's a need to tell your mom's story?
Well, I think it's important for her grandchildren to know about her history, and for other children who are of Jamaican descent, that have came from Jamaica to the UK during the Windrush era. I think it's important for them to know the stories. So I wanted to write it for them, and her grandchildren can read it, her grandchildren's children can read it. Something that's a piece of my mom that will live on forever. So this is why I wanted to tell her story. That's why I thought there was a need to tell her story.
Okay, so now you mentioned the era, and I don't want to mispronounce it. So tell the audience a little bit about that era. What is it exactly? And your mom was born in Jamaica, and then she migrated to England, right? So tell us a little bit about that era.
So back in the 60s, her mom moved to England because it was after the World War II, I think it was. And England needed, workers, nurses, carers, factory workers. So they sent out job posts to Jamaica, and thousands of Jamaicans left Jamaica and went to England to help rebuild England. And so that was her parents that did that. So once they got there, well, her mom, not her parent, just her mom. Once her mom got there and settled in, then she sent for my mom to come over. And so my mom went to school there. So she left when she was 11 and joined her mom in England just around that time.
What age did your mom leave?
Yeah, so she left actually on her 11th birthday. She left Jamaica.
Okay.
She left her grandmother, who she lived with, because she didn't live with her mother in Jamaica. Her mother lived in a different parish working. So she lived with her grandmother, and her grandmother raised her. But so yeah, she left her grandmother and came to England when she was 11. She was distraught because, you know, she loved her grandmother. And actually, I think it was 3 weeks after she left, her grandmother died. So she was, you know, even with her retelling the story to me before writing this book, it was emotional for both of us, you know. So, you know, she's reliving old memories. She was telling me about the good times and the bad times. And yeah, it was a great experience to, you know, listen to her tell that story.
Definitely. I could only imagine leaving your grandma. I mean, grandparents are everything to
Yeah,
us, you know? So, wow. And I asked about her age just to kind of give the audience, because this book is pretty much around her story. So that's, you know, a young age leaving a country, and that's the premise of the book.
right.
So what do you hope that children will achieve by reading this book?
Well, I think first, children of all races could benefit from this book. It teaches you so many lessons about discrimination, about bullying, also about being proud of who you are and being a good person, even when others around you aren't being good to you. And, you know, that teaches children that we are all unique and it's okay, but we shouldn't judge people based on their we should only judge people based on their character and not on their appearance. So, you know, it also gives a voice to children who might be discriminated against or bullied because of the color of their skin or because of where they're from. So, you know, it's a voice for them too. And it lets them know, you know, they aren't the only ones experiencing this. Sometimes when you go through something, you think you're the only one in the world that's going through this. So I think it'll be a good, inspiring story for all children of all races.
So where can they find this book?
So this book is available on Amazon, or you can go to my website, which is www.andreahutchings365.com. So either one of those places, you can find my book and purchase it for yourself.
Excellent. So that information would also be inserted, and so everyone will be able to see that. So, I appreciate again your time. Um, I know it's the pandemic right now, but other than having it on your website, and of course, people are going to websites and Amazon these days. Um, Beyond that, do you plan to try to reach out to schools? Do you think like schools could, utilize this book in their curriculum, or it could be on some reading club? Do you see that in the future for this book?
I definitely see that in the future. Right now, I am reaching out to um, libraries and also some bookstores. So it's in the works. There are definitely some plans to get the book out there and for a lot of children to access it. I also want to send a few free copies to, like government schools and, so there's so many things, there's so many plans for the book coming.
Excellent. Yeah, it definitely takes some time. So for those that are listening at this moment to Andrea talk about this book, if you'd like a copy, she stated where you can get it. If you're an administrator, if you're a teacher, if you'd like to get a copy of, to your students, reach out to her. You'll definitely have this information. Guys, the book talks about, just leaving one place, going to another. And what is the title of the book? I forgot to,
It's
we were so excited and I forgot to say, what is the title of the book?
Me too. It's called This Is Not My Home.
Yes, this is not my home. Talking about leaving a country to go to a new country, meeting new friends, being adjusted, and especially in the migrant community, those that has left one country to another, definitely can you relate. And to the others who don't understand that side of life, don't understand those individuals, get this book, read it, and see what others are feeling when they leave their home to welcome another home. It's a lot of adjustments, right?
Exactly.
And you could agree with me with saying that, right?
That's so true. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. I thank you so much for your time. And yeah, we'll have the information, and please enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
All right.